Hi, I'm Dr. Marie Hadley. I thought I would make this short video of my top 3 tips, so 3 things that I figured out along the way when studying with young kids, in the hopes that it might be helpful to other either undergraduate or postgraduate students out there. Studying with kids, it's difficult, but in some ways, and in my case, it was a really rewarding experience. I got more time with my kids than if I would have if I'd have been time working in a law firm when they were born. Now, whilst it's the best of times, it is still difficult times when it comes to studying. So one of the first things I realized relatively early in my studying journey when my first child was born was that it's really important to expect the unexpected. To a certain extent, you have to assume that things are going to go wrong. You kind of have to assume that your child might catch a bug at daycare and be excluded from daycare for a couple of days. You kind of have to assume that at some point in the lead up to a deadline, something will go wrong. You'll be called upon as one of the caregivers of your child and have to literally be that day, without your laptop and not be able to make progress in whatever task it is. So I think expecting the unexpected is important. And what that essentially means is if you work in reverse, you start tasks early, you work consistently on them, and you try not to leave things to the last minute. In terms of my second point here, small steps will add up to big progress. What I essentially mean here is that, when you have young children, you're going to be tired and it is difficult to get slabs of uninterrupted time. So I think it's really important to remember that small steps are important to making that overall progress. For me, what this involved was literally, every night when I put my kids to bed, I would then, drag myself to the desk and I would tell myself, tonight I'll just do half an hour or I'll just do an hour. And for me, it was really important to make in my head for me to think about it as a time limited thing because I was exhausted. And if you think, oh, I'm going to do 6 hours till midnight and then everything's going to be magical, well, you may be too tired for that. So I think it's important to set really, really manageable small goals. And then you might find that once you get to your desk and you open your laptop and you're sitting down and you do your half an hour, that maybe it's easy to do that extra hour or half an hour or 2 hours or whatever it ends up being. You get on a roll. But yeah, small goals, small steps will still get you there. It's that consistency in turning up. Now, the third tip I had here is be okay with playing the long game. Studying with children may mean that your degree, takes longer than other students in your cohort. And one of the most valuable things I learned in the course of my own PhD study, which with my maternity leaves ended up taking, and part-time candidate, took me 10 years. So I literally saw members of my cohort, people that started close to me or after me, finishing well before I did. And one of the important things I learned for my mental health along the way is to not compare myself to others. Everyone has their own journey, and yes, it may take you longer, but you will get there in the end. So I think you need to be okay with playing that long game. You need to keep your perspective intact and to try not to compare yourself too much to others, because you don't want to lose sight of the fact that you are working towards your goals. You will get to your goals. And in the meantime, you have these beautiful children to enjoy along the way. All right, so that's my top tips for studying with young kids, and all the best with your own studies.